In this video, I will show you how I traveled to Foz do Iguaçu for 10 days and managed to keep my trip as affordable as possible. In the meantime, you will see pictures documenting my journey from Salvador to Foz do Iguaçu. So let's go straight to the point. What I used. I used a mix of three resources to make my trip to Foz do Iguaçu: savings, travel packages from decolar.com or despegar.com, and my new bank credit card. Later, I will explain how I use them. But first, a little bit of context. To celebrate my birthday, I wanted to take a trip to visit Iguaçu Falls, Paraguay, and Argentina. I currently live in Brazil, so I only needed to take a domestic flight to reach the border city of Foz do Iguaçu. From there, I could visit the city's attractions, including the iconic Iguaçu Falls, and easily cross the border to explore Paraguay and Argentina. While searching for airline tickets to travel to Foz do Iguaçu, I found that the cheapest ticket from Salvador to Foz do Iguaçu cost 1,300 Brazilian reals. Additionally, I wanted to stay for 10 days, and the most affordable hotels and Airbnb options that met my needs were at least 1,000 Brazilian reals. Therefore, my total expenses for tickets and accommodations would be at least 2,300 Brazilian reals. I decided to search for travel packages on the websites despegar.com or decolar.com in Brazil. There, I found a package that included round-trip plane tickets, 10 days of lodging, and transportation to and from the airport in Foz do Iguaçu for a total of 1,700 Brazilian reals. This was the best option I found that fit my budget. So, how to buy it? I knew where I wanted to buy my trip. I just had to decide how to make the purchase. I needed to consider two expenses. First, the plane tickets and lodging for 1,700 Brazilian reals. Second, the tickets for attractions as well as food and transportation expenses. For my financial situation, it was not possible to pay 1,700 Brazilian reals immediately, along with the other travel expenses. So at Decolar, you can pay for your trip in installments using a credit card. With my type of credit card, I can pay for up to 6 installments without interest. I have a new bank credit card with an authorized limit of 800 Brazilian reals. To better meet my needs, I needed to increase my credit card limit to at least 1,700 Brazilian reals. One advantage of the new bank credit card is the option to increase the limit but making a deposit as collateral. This is referred as the límite garantido or guaranteed limit. The credit card limit will rise by the same amount as the deposit made, and this money serves as both as a payment guarantee and a saving account that generates returns. So I had some money saved in my Itaú bank account, and I had transferred that money to my new bank account, which allowed me to increase my credit card limit. As a result, I was able to split the payment for the tickets and accommodation into 6 installments. Well, now including the payment for the to the entry for attractions, transportation, and food, I utilized two resources. First, I had saved 1,000 Brazilian reals for that purpose, and second, there is 800 Brazilian reals remaining on my credit card limit. So to manage my expenses, I decided to pay for everything with my credit card and then immediately use my saved money to pay off the credit card balance. It is important to note that I needed to use some of that money to cover the first installment of the trip, which helped me to free up some credit on the card. By the end of the trip, I was using the remaining 800 Brazilian reals balance on the credit card to cover my last expenses because I have exhausted my saved funds. So, how the expenses were? My expenses during my trip to Foz do Iguaçu were affordable and aligned with my budget. Dining out in Foz do Iguaçu was relatively inexpensive compared to other Brazilian cities like Rio de Janeiro or Salvador. Taking the bus cost at least 5 Brazilian reals, while using Uber typically ranges from 10 to 30 Brazilian reals. Grocery prices were similar to what one might expect in Salvador. Although it is important to note that the groceries purchases during a trip differ from those bought at home. It is important to consider the context of my specific case to understand my spending. So, I am a digital nomad, which means I work while traveling. To fully enjoy each destination, I typically plan longer trips to balance my work with exploration. During my 10 days trip, I needed to work for 4 days. On those days, I left early in the morning before work and stayed out later after finishing my task. So, to save money on my trips, I prefer to book a place with a kitchen so I can shop for groceries and cook breakfast and lunch at the hotel while having dinner out. One of the fixed expenses is the price for the entrance to the attractions. As a foreigner, I had to pay the full price. So I paid for tickets to the mosque, Iguaçu Falls, the ferry wheel, the three borders, and the hydroelectric dam, which was totally around 300 Brazilian reals. The largest expenses I incurred were dining out, the largest expenses I incurred were dining out, buying groceries, purchasing souvenirs, and transportation costs. I spent a total of approximately 1,600 Brazilian reals. In the coming videos, I will discuss the activities I did and the expenses I incurred. So, the conclusion. I was able to take that trip because I organized my budget in advance. It helped that the travel packages was relatively inexpensive on the Decolar app. Additionally, I had access to the new bank credit card, which allowed me to spread out the expenses over the time. This enabled me to manage my spending in a way that was coherent and responsible considering my financial situation. So these are the techniques I use to fund my trip. I hope they can be useful to you and that you can apply them to your situation. So really, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me, and I will be seeing you in the coming videos. Bye bye.